find the sine of alpha plus beta, we're going to split this up using a sum or difference formula, which we're going to use the sum of the sine. So that's going to be the sine of the angle alpha times the cosine beta plus cosine alpha times sine beta. So what we're going to do is we have to find each of these guys. Okay, now a couple of them we already know. We know that sine of alpha is 4/5. And we also know that the sine of beta is negative 5/13. Okay, so what I need is these two other values in here. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my triangles out. So the first one here, it's saying that my angle is between pi/2 and pi, which means that it's going to be over here in this quadrant, just like that. And we've got the sine of it being 4/5, so that means the opposite side is 4, the hypotenuse is 5, which means the adjacent side has got to be -3, which gives me, since this is my alpha, it gives me that the cosine of that alpha is the -3/5. Now, oops, I put that under beta. Gotta put that under alpha here, so -3/5, like that. Now let's do the beta angle. So for beta, it says that our beta value is between 3/2 and 2 pi, so we're down here in quadrant 4. It says that the sine, so let me draw my triangle here. So this is beta. The sine value is -5/13, so this is -5. This is 13, which will give you a length here of 12. So our cosine value is 12/13. So if we do our multiplication here, we've got 48/5 times 13. Looks like it's going to be 65. Okay, now this is going to be a negative times a negative, so it's going to be positive, and we've still got plus in between. So this is going to be 15/65, which gives me, looks like 63/65. Now let's go ahead and check that value. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get a value here. So here's my check. I'm going to get a value for alpha and a value for beta. So let's grab our calculators. So to get our value for alpha, I'm going to use the arc cosine, and I'm going to get this here in degrees. So we'll say what angle has a cosine value of -3/5. Okay. Now the reason that I'm using arc cosine instead of sine or tangent is because I'm in quadrant 2, and arc cosine is defined in quadrant 2. So it says that it's about 126.9 degrees. Okay, so we'll leave that in our calculator. Actually, I'm going to store that as the letter A for alpha. Now let's do beta. So since beta is down here in quadrant number 4, it doesn't matter whether I use sine or tangent, so I'm going to use sine. So the arc sine, so tell me whose angle has a sine value of -5/13. So it's saying about a -22. Now what I can go ahead and do is add 360 to get my 337. You don't have to do this, but I get my 337-degree angle. I'm going to store that. You could have left it as -22 degrees, is what I'm saying. But I'll store that as B. And now if I take the sine of alpha plus the sine of beta, like that, I get 0.9692. And if I take 63 and divide it by 65, I get the same exact value. So what I've done is I've verified that this is the solution by finding an alpha, finding a beta, using the inverse for that